G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How we all doing today? It's your boy Nathan. I always find it funny when I introduce a video like that. It seems so out of character for me in real life. But if you're new around here, how are you? I ride bikes and post them on the internet. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, leave a like, comment and subscribe. Stick around and get some new videos in your system, because we are trying to grow this channel, you hear. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this video here is a bit of a PSA. Because I hope those who are getting into motorcycling don't just watch people who, well, if you can still watch TikTok, I think you can now in America again. People who you watch on the internet tend to ride a little bit more spicy than how you should be riding in real life, because most cases you're probably not going to get away with riding like an absolute sausage on the road. So motorcycling is dangerous, okay, and there's a reason I'm telling you this. I know I can sort of sound like a broken record, but there's a reason for that today, I can assure you. So just about 2 months ago, a mate of mine bought himself a nice Panigale. Is it a Panigale? A Ducati 899? I think it's considered a Panigale. Anyway, I'm not really versed in Ducatis very much, but it was a lovely bike, very good condition, all that good stuff. And it was one of those kind of evenings where everything was calling out to him, alright? He went to the door and he goes, I shouldn't go for a ride, something doesn't feel right, but I want to, okay? Sign number one. Goes out in his Kevlar flanny, changes his idea, and then puts his leathers on, still feeling a little about the ride, but guess what? Continues going. Goes out for a short ride, alright? Nothing wrong with that. Taking it nice and cruisy. Still didn't quite feel right, and then he was about to come home. He was riding around the inner suburbs, which if you're on a motorcycle, I don't know why you'd ride around the inner suburbs. Yes, you get attention from people, but it's just a shit area to ride. And he decides, you know what? I don't quite feel right, but I'm going to go get myself some McDonald's for dinner, and then I'm going to go home, alright? Just a humble, fine dining experience at McDonald's. Anyway, so he's taking his little stroll home, and he's turning at this intersection. The light turns yellow, and he's already at the intersection when the light changes, so he speeds up to get through the intersection. Mistake number one, really, but it's okay. And as he does this, there's a car that decides to turn oncoming into him. So the bike car for once was not at fault. So the car turned into him. He's probably going about 50-55 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in miles, maybe like 35, 40, I don't know. And the car hits him at 30-40 kilometers an hour. So the impact probably happens at around 90 kilometers at the apex. Not that I don't think it's exactly how it works, but you know what I mean. It was a decent smack. And my boy did a full 4 somersaults over the car in front of him, and he's seen better days. He's shattered his wrist, he's bruised his nuts, he's got swelling on his and he's broken some ribs, he's bruised his lungs, he's broken both of his big toes, and general road rash. Now, fellas, his nuts dented the tank, okay? Do with that information as you will, but I can assure you, old mate has had better days than that one. Fortunately, he was more than okay in the head, neck and spine regions, didn't concuss himself somehow, even though he landed sort of head first. The paramedics and the fire brigade were both on scene, taking photos, being like, how in God's name did you survive such an accident? Alright? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up today is because there's a lot of riders coming in, well, in Australia at least, with the more summery time. And obviously, even in America, the bikes are cheap now, so there might be a lot of new people buying motorcycles and not riding as much because of the snow and whatnot. But just because people on the internet make this shit look easy and fun, no matter how fast they're going, please remember, once you get hit on a motorcycle, it's not like a car where you just get up in most cases. Low speed stuff, sure, you might injure yourself slightly, but still, even in low speed stuff, you can break a bone. The bike can land on you and burn you horribly. Be careful, okay? This is why we say wear your gear. Now, look, I'm not the best person to use it as an example. Sure, I'm wearing my jacket and gloves and that, but I'm wearing normal pants. So don't use me as the example of the pinnacle of gear. Use my words, please, as a warning. Do as I say, not as I do scenario, because I don't want to hear any of you new riders in a similar scenario like that, because, dude, it really doesn't take much to get injured severely on a motorcycle, and I don't want to see any of you guys that are just getting into the sort of hobby to start telling me you've had a colossal crash and you've hurt yourself really badly, because it's not right. You don't want to see the new riders get injured. You don't want to see people that you care about break bones and spirits or worse. Now, this guy had a colossal crash, right, and he's in a shit way, right? There's no way around it. He's never going to ride again, and that's tragic. And now his riding is not stopped because of his injuries, because he'll recover relatively okay. But the man's mentally not there. Like, he wakes up screaming. He's got a little PTSD from the crash, and like mental trauma from these things can last way longer than the physical trauma, because you can get over the physical trauma in 6 to 8 weeks. Now, shattered wrist might last a bit longer, but mental trauma can last you years. So he literally went, the moment we went and saw him, he goes, I'm never touching a motorcycle again. I can't do it. He's even selling his car because his ute's too like light on the back end. He doesn't trust it. It's too spinny for him. So it's stuff like that you sort of feel bad, because look, I like motorcycles. I like going fast on motorcycles. I like being safe on motorcycles. But this man, look, he wasn't doing anything stupid. He did speed up through an intersection. Now, look, that's not exactly the ideal meta to do, but we've all done it. And unfortunately, his gamble didn't pay off. So just be aware. I don't want to hear any of you boys or girls hurting themselves badly. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers who do stupid shit for views. I try not to be one of them, because, well, if one of you people hurt yourselves because of something I did, well, then it's just on me, isn't it? And then I'd feel bad. So I really don't want to hear of any tragedies or atrocities because of something you've tried to mimic of mine. God, those Mustang faded stripes look horrible. So if you're currently riding or new to riding and you're sort of being a bit of an elevated risk taker, just remember the consequences that you have that can happen to you. Now, don't worry, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Do enjoy yourselves. Just remember, it doesn't always happen when you're being stupid. That's the part that sort of gets you the worst. A lot of accidents tend to happen close to home because that's when your guard's down. So when you're riding a motorcycle, your guard should sort of really always be up, because I've nearly been hit just leaving my street at home because someone decided to cut the corner, and I mean really cut the corner. And if they hit me, that would have been a bad day, because they probably cut the corner at 40 k's an hour, 50 k's, and I was coming into the corner at the same speed. So it doesn't take much, and it's always in the places you least expect. And now look, sometimes when you're doing stupid shit, bad shit happens. You might fall off, you might crash, all right, that's fair enough, but at least in those crashes you sort of know they're coming. But it's when you're doing the slow and you're trying to be sensible, just that minute lapse in judgment might be enough to, I don't know, dude, even cost you your life in some cases. So please, try not to let yourself slip, because when you slip, things can go horribly, horribly wrong. And the last thing I want to hear is anything bad happening to any of you guys, because that's just heartbreaking. Like I said, around home, be careful. It's always in those scenarios where you think you're the safest is when the most damage can happen, and that's just, we can sneak through here, can't we? Yes, we can. Getting complacent in places you think are the most safe are usually where the things can happen the worst. Geez, you might even like low side because you're just so confident in a corner you've been through a million times. Someone might cut you off, someone might cut the corner, coming out of the driveway. I have a family member had the same thing happen to them. It's not, they're not really my family, that's like some cousin of my mother or something or other. But yeah, don't take this as me being like, I know a guy who knows a guy who had an accident and bad things happen, but use this more of as, just take a moment to really think and evaluate sometimes. If you see an intersection, slow down. If you're riding in the inner lane and the car comes to turn and to do a U-turn or a right turn into you, slow down or swerve into another lane if safe. I always do that because I don't trust people, okay? And you're like, when you're in a car, you don't trust cars, so when you're on a motorbike, you seem to trust them more, and you sort of have to, because the impact, the consequences is more. So don't trust them. Just do your best and ride as safely and correctly as you can without trying to do anything too crazy. You know what I mean? I want to see you riding for a long time and a good time. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Sorry for such a morbid sort of video. It's more of a case of I just want you all to be safe and ride for as long as possible without any injury. So leave a like, comment and subscribe. Message me in the Discord below if you have any stories yourself. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Keep it cheesy. I hope you've all had a wonderful time, and peace. Bye.